Last week was all about being trendy, but this week was all about the references. Look at this. It's marvelous. The lefties sure did get lucky this week. With this very interesting pinkish purple hue with a little bit of gold blent in, you can actually still see the wood grain underneath if you look really closely there. We've got golden knobs, creamed out plastics with the lacking of a pickguard if you missed it. Where have we seen this design before? Well, quite simply from the Epiphone lineup, the SG Muse in purple passion metallic. We might be lacking the clear see-through speed knobs, but everything else is pretty much there. But oh my goodness. It's discontinued? Okay, there's still a few colors, but it seems to be once they're out, they're gone. So what a very specific market for this guy, targeted to somebody who loved the look of the Epiphone but didn't want an Epi, is left-handed and has custom shop budget. But whoa, okay, there's a little bit more to the story. A matching headstock happened, clear coating over our mother of pearl logos. But no fancy stingers, just the continuation of the finish everywhere else. And it was offered for $4,400. But looking at this up-close photo, I don't think you can actually see the wood grain. It's just lacquer sink effect. But wow, look at the way the finish sinks into the fibers of their peghead veneer. But then we have a 50 standard in peaceful purple. Let's see, we have a plain top purple burst. If you look closely, you do have a slightly less opaque purple border before it gets just a little bit lighter in the center, and you can see all your wood grain in between. But you've got a P90 in the bridge, some sort of a mini humbucker Firebird pickup in the neck. But most importantly, we've got the piece knobs. I've always been a big fan of the 2014 Les Paul piece. It's where those knobs initially originated from. They had a piece tailpiece where if you look closely, it also has the piece signs on the adjustments. And on top of that, they came with a really cool hemp-covered case that has the peace sign and it's tan. And then on the inside, it's pink, and these came in a few different fun colors. So I would call this one a loose tribute, but oh my goodness, does it? Really? Okay, I didn't see that at first. Yeah, that's what I was talking about. They just put these additional slices into the adjustment area for the piece. I'm surprised they still had that. We'll call this one Piece 2.0. Doesn't the world need that right now? But this is fairly interesting. They purpled the back of the body, but left the neck natural. And factory installed mini Grovers on a Les Paul. What? They're so tiny. It works well on SGs because it helps fight neck dive. I'm not sure why we've got that here. However, at $3,400, I think this is primarily geared towards somebody who's already collected all the other piece colors and really loves the series and would like a different version of something similar that they already have. Look closely. That's not just a regular purple finish, it's got some purple sparkly flakes in it. Then we had a 58 standard called Antique Concrete. There's a few different ways we could take this one, but it appears we've got a dark back with some cherry mixed in with this white top. If my concrete looked like this, I would be getting it redone. But it does have this interesting crackle-like paint job to it, and this could be referencing multiple of different things, such as the nuclear crackle Epiphones. They were pretty cool with a red and orange. There was a pretty stellar purple, more of a black and yellow, even black and white. But besides just a cool paint job, you have the Flighted E logo on your pickups and interesting inlays. You could also say it's a reference to the classic rock series from 2015-ish. One of those cheekily named ones. They were going after a granite top here, which isn't exactly the same as concrete. They also had the blue marble top series. I actually documented a mod collection guitar once that had a similar paint job. It was blue with a little bit of light blue as the crackle. And it's got the matching headstock. That's kind of cool. However, we can see that red aniline dyes are just eating that finish up on the edge. And I can't say the Gibson logo looks very good on that. From far away, I thought maybe they slapped one of those Carina badges on it. That would have looked pretty cool if they just slightly shrunk it down to fit in the normal section. But looking closely here, you can see it still has the regular holly cap veneer and a very dark aniline dyed back. Looking like serial DS296 maybe? And yeah, those dyes are even eating our decal. Our next one's such a fine girl. That'd make any sailor happy, giving him a little bit of whiskey. I suppose you could say this harkens back to some of the best 70s tobacco bursts. And for a $335, I like the top on this one. It's nice and wide, not too pinstripey. It looks very strange not having the pickguard, not even the holes for it. And another thing that makes this one look off is they used silver screws to secure the pickup rings. We don't always see that A lot of times they're black. It's one of those things where you don't realize how big of a cosmetic difference that makes. This looks like a fake guitar to me because of that, or modified, which technically it is. Modified, that is, but the back of the body continues the same theme we saw on the top. But ooh, I like that neck. Kind of just a barrel burst, I guess you could say. Dark at the heel. Then you get a little bit lighter here, but still quite rustic before getting red and super dark. And then the headstock doing another burst. And then we have a 59 reissue in Rally Verde. This very well could be its own theme, but it is harkening back to a Slash model. The Slash Anaconda burst, it had a green bursted finish with the uncovered pickups. Does not have the racing stripe though. And to be fair, this is more of a lime green color, but as far as stripes over here, you could say it's a reference to a James Hetfield Iron Cross. I might be saying, hey, Trogly, Gibson never made those. Technically, there was at least one prototype made, so yeah, it is something they could reference, but I'm sure he got that from car culture. But two cool dudes on one guitar, that works. But you've got your natural colored sides, and if you look really closely, you can see the unfinished maple cap peeking through before you appreciate everything else that this one has. And praise the headstock. They left the truss rod cover alone, and the tuners alone. But did have to give us a new serial number, DS275. And oh, check out that body. That's rather unique. It's got some ringiness, super ringy, and then almost like some bear claw strikes, and then maybe a little bit of chatoyant flame to it in certain angles. And then I like how we've got some dark mineral streaks over here on the edge too. As far as the EU, they had Champagne Blast. Whoa, 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 whoa! Are you guys seeing this? The EU is now on the stock photography style photos. So that means these old styles are on the way out for both of the shops. But this one's kind of a puke green Antigua burst with red on the back. Now I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we've seen this one before and they just took new photos of it. Or it is reference week, maybe it sold so good they made another one. Which, you know what, judging by this, the Mod Collection decal, unless they reapplied that to it, this has to be a new guitar. Yeah, it's a fairly recent serial too. We also had a holiday-inspired 335. I like the small block inlays. I feel this needs P90s, though. That would complement the creamy nature of it beautifully. But we got a little bit of green, a little bit of reddish amber. Same thing over here on our neck. Good old Mod Collection, going back to their old ways. But this looks like an open-pore satin finish. That's definitely prevalent on the neck. Those can feel quite nice, although maybe not as high-end and premium feeling as a regular Gibson finish. Suppose it depends, are you a player or a collector, on which you might prefer. But easily my favorite this week, a 70s Deluxe in deep taupe. I got excited when I saw this. It's like the custom shop reissues that just came out. Here's a Music Zoo video so we can see it in the flesh. It had the P90 pickups and the typical 56 elements to it, but it was recreating a NAMM show display piece. They had more colors than just that, and this one's technically a little bit more metallic. But then it dawned on me, Raptail? Are they gonna start launching Raptail 5060 standards? But if you remember, this one was advertised as a 70s Deluxe, so they had to have routed it out and then changed our bridge configuration during the refinish, or maybe it just wasn't routed at all because it was messed up beforehand. But you've got the cool matching knobs, natural back, black headstock with our usual rosewood fretboard. I would like to see a Raptail standard in P90 and humbucker combination, even if it's only offered for 6 months, like a 400 production run. I really missed stuff like that at a Gibson. But now the USA demo shop, they had a few interesting things, like this Gibson Les Paul Standard 50s and Honey Burst. Looking through all the photos, nothing necessarily spectacular. Outside of the top, I just thought that was beautiful. The darker photography really brings out that finish and all the flaminess. There's also the Standard 60s in Unburst. It has this interesting ringy pattern there. Not my favorite looking one in the world, but it was notable enough to share for today. Here's a 60 Standard looking like an R8 reissue. That's got some great grain for a plain top, and it does indeed have a little bit of flame hiding in between, so that's just the best of both worlds. That's a really good one in my opinion. The back's not too shabby either. Here's one from the Custom Color ES335 series, Ocean Blue. Looks more like a washed denim. I like it when a little bit of that natural peeks through. And there's also a little bit of candy cane striping in the neck. We had the continuation of TV White, this time on a 64 SG Standard reissue. The chrome/nickel hardware makes that Gibson logo pop out. And then the fact that they chose white backplates reminds me of the Elliot Easton model. And there was a Pelham Blue Explorer, you could say. It's like the Richie Faulkner prototypes, just without the Floyd and the giant pick guard being white. But hey, 4,600 for one of those is not too bad when you're getting a custom color. This one was actually billed as a quadruple A top. I thought we only had triple A's, but it's a 60 standard otherwise. It was a good top for a lemon burst. There's also a 57 reissue gold top. The special feature on this one, super dark back. Those aren't always readily available. And if the blinding blue wasn't to your style, they also had heavy antiqued Pelham blue, looking a little bit more green here. But this one, oh, okay. I was about to say it's Carina and you're going to pay the Carina tax, but no, it's 5,000. What? And they put the Carina style tuners? That's got the heel. Does it not? It's got the nylon nut. I think this is mislisted and it's actually Carina because it's got all the historic features and $5,000 for a Carina antique Pelham blue. I'm going to look into that more, and if I caught them sleeping, I'll buy that for a review and demo. But it might just be it was a custom color and somebody wanted all the other custom appointments. Well, come to think of it, 8 stands for 1958 reissue. This next 8 tells you the year. So that's likely an old one from 2018 when they were doing mahogany. So I think they know what they have there. But it does seem awfully suspicious and looks good. Then we had a 59 golden poppy burst, just looking good. And its back is not too heavily dyed. I enjoy that. And lastly, a beautiful ES355, 1959 reissue in a dark Pelham blue. I wouldn't even call that Pelham at that point, or maybe it's just their camera settings. All right, Troglodytes, I hope you enjoyed this week's recap. Don't forget to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you tomorrow on the next one. Take care.